Texas is no longer just stealing corporate headquarters from New York or California, now it wants the stock exchange too. The Texas Stock Exchange just landed its first primary listings, which sounds like boring finance language because unfortunately finance people were allowed to name everything, but this is actually quite an accomplishment. Texas Capital Bank Shares says 2 of its ETFs will make the Texas Stock Exchange their primary trading venue starting on September 16th, pending regulatory approval. And for a new exchange trying to consume territory from the NYSE and NASDAQ, this is a real milestone because the entire pitch behind the Texas Stock Exchange is that Texas is trying to build the financial machinery to match its economic ambition. See, for years, Texas has sold itself as the place companies move to when they're tired of taxes, regulation, legacy institutions, and being lectured by people who think a one-bedroom apartment should cost $4,000 because it has exposed brick. As a result, headquarters came, tech jobs arrived, private equity showed up, energy was already here, and now Texas is making the argument that capital markets do not need to be spiritually headquartered in Manhattan forever. The exchange is backed by giants like BlackRock, Citadel Securities, and Charles Schwab. It began full trading operations in July and says IPOs will start coming next year. And while this may all sound relatively inconsequential, this is how market turf gets contested. First you get trading, then you get ETFs, then corporate listings, and finally IPOs. Then suddenly, Texas is not just where companies move after they got annoyed with Delaware, California, or New York. It's where companies raise money, list shares, court investors, and build financial identity. That's the part that Texans should really care about, because if this works, it means more finance jobs, more legal work, more compliance work, more investor attention, more headquarter gravity, and more reasons for companies to treat Texas as a capital market center instead of just a low-tax relocation brochure. Of course, the Texas Stock Exchange still has a long way to go, but landing its first primary listings means that the idea is no longer just a press release with a cowboy hat, it is starting to become infrastructure. And if Texas can turn corporate migration into capital market power, this becomes another sign that America's economic center of gravity is actually moving south.